Okay, here's question 15 on the higher calculator paper. The first thing I notice about this is there's a star next to the question. And let's read through the question. Henry's thinking about having a water meter. There are two ways in which he could pay for the water he uses. He could pay with a water meter, and in that case, there'll be a charge of £28.20 per year, plus 91.22 pence for every cubic meter of water he uses. And it told us that 1 cubic meter is the equivalent of 1,000 litres. Alternatively, he could have no water meter and he could just pay £107 a year. What else do they tell us? Henry uses an average of 180 litres of water each day. Each day he uses 180 litres. He wants to pay as little as possible for the water he uses. Should Henry have a water meter? Now this question was also on the foundation paper, so there is a potential of getting this and making sure that we actually capitalize on the 5 marks offered for this question. Now, one of the things I need to work out first of all is how much water does Henry use in a year? Because over here, all these calculations are the amount of water used, or he pays for the amount of water he uses in a whole year. So if I know on each day, on average, in a day he uses 180 litres, then in 1 year, he's going to use 365 times 180. 365 days in a year, so 365 times 180 365 times 180, that is equal to 65,700. Litres. I'll just put an L there. So he uses 65,700 litres of water in a year. Now, we know that 1,000 litres is 1 cubic meter. So, if I divide that by 1,000, I'll get how many cubic meters it is. So divided by 1,000, and that's 65.7 cubic meters. 65.7 cubic meters. Now, why do I need to know this? Well, he actually pays 91.22 pence for every cubic meter of water he uses. So for every cubic meter of water he uses, he only pays 91.22 pence. So if I first of all look at the situation where he has, so with a water meter, I know he uses 65.7 cubic meters of water, and each of those cost him 91.22 pence. Now I'm keeping the units in here because I think we're going to have a mixture of pounds and pence in this calculation, because not only does he pay for the water, but he actually pays a charge of £28.20. So he pays that for the water, and so I'm going to plus a charge of 28.20. Now let's start working this out. So I've got here 65.7 times 91.22, and that's that figure there. However, that's all in pence. How many pounds is that? Divided by 100, and that tells me that that is 59.93 pounds. I'm just going to keep it to 2 decimal places because money is in 2 decimal places. I'm just going to keep it as 69.93. I'm going to add on to that the £28.20 that he pays for a charge. £59.93 plus 28.20, And that tells me that altogether it's going to cost him £88.13. Now, Henry wants to pay as little as possible for the water he uses. Should Henry have a water meter? Well, with a water meter, it's actually going to cost him £88.13. With no water meter, he's going to pay £107 per year. So the answer is, should Henry have a water meter? Yes, Henry should have a water meter, as it is cheaper than no water meter. Okay, so I put all of that in there, and that is pretty straightforward. I've given the answer as a sentence, and I should be able to get full marks for this, full 5 marks for this. So I've shown all the work in, I've shown all the steps I've done, I've put it in a logical format. Okay, make sure you're familiar with this, make sure you do get this.